Hi everyone. Some of you have been asking me in the comment section about my spacers, about the size, but also how to install them. And it just happens to be that I'm in the process of messing with some spacers. I'm actually trying different sizes. I went from 12 to 15, and today I'm going to be trying 18mm spacers. And I'm going to take you on my journey of installing these spacers, and I'll show you the differences spacers make on a vehicle, and in particular on my stock 437M wheels. And to do this job, you need the following. You need some gloves, you need something to jack up the car, you need something to take the wheels off. Once the wheels are off, you're going to need a screwdriver and a hammer to remove old spacers, if you have any. If you don't, you can skip these tools. You're going to need a wire brush to clean the hubs. The hubs tend to be a bit rusty, so you want to make sure all the rust is taken off. You will need something, and that's, to me, that's optional. You need something to prevent rust from occurring, and a lot of people use NTCs. I tend to not use it because it can clump up and cause vibrations, but I just clean the inner sides of wheel spacers with something like that. Garage door lube works well for me, and that prevents any rust from occurring. And obviously you're going to need your wheel spacers. In this case, I'm trying 18mm spacers with extended bolts, and at the end we're going to torque everything using a torque wrench. And call me crazy, but I'm going from 15 to 18mm in the back only because I think the back doesn't have enough poke. I know the difference is going to be very, very minuscule, but check this out. So this is the poke with 15mm spacers, and I have 15mm spacers all around. So the back is 15. See how nicely they poke out? But what I'm trying to get rid of is the following. You see, so the outer protective lip of the tire kind of matches with this, but the inner, the stretchy part still goes in. So I'm trying to sort of make that poke out just a little bit more. And then moving to the front, obviously the front fenders are wide, so the wheels sit flush, flusher. Can you say flusher? Again, foreigner status. So they stick out just a bit less. So I'm trying to make them poke a little bit more as well. And again, in the spirit of me making these videos, there's a neighbor down there who's cutting his grass. Thank you. Before we go further, let's inspect the tire. So this tire has seen a lot of donuts. And there's still plenty of life left. When I say plenty, I have a feeling I'm going to drive it until the end of this season, and then I might just kill it at the track early in the spring. Oh yeah, it looks like we've hit something. Look at this patch of dirt. But wait, you see this patch of dirt protected by my mud flaps? Oh yeah. These mud flaps are awesome. And I think the same patch of dirt you'll be able to see in the front, and I'll show you exactly how these mud flaps have protected me from my car getting dirty and even splashed with rocks. So that's awesome. Since we're here, let's also check out the suspension. So this is the height that I have it set to in the back. And again, the ride quality is awesome. So these are the spacers that I have on my car. Now, the better quality spacers will have little notches up here so you can easily remove them. These, I think, are made by H&R. Actually, I know they're made by H&R, and they don't have any notches, so it's going to be harder for me to remove them. But basically what you do is you put a screwdriver up here and try to pry them. See, there's a tiny piece that came off. So again, if you are buying spacers, make sure they have little notches. And once you get them out just a little bit, you can just use the pressure of the screwdriver when it bends to kind of go around, and it should come right off. But seriously, spacer manufacturers, if you're making these spacers, make little notches here. You see? Because every time I try to remove them, I damage them. So try to make these notches, come on. Now we're gonna use this wire brush to clean the rust from the surface. And now what I like to do is like to take this garage door lube, spray it onto a napkin, and make sure it doesn't touch the rotor surface. Then I take it and I just smear it just a little bit. And next thing is we grab our spacers, and as you can see, these spacers are made by Burger Tuning. Again, I purchased them myself. This is not a sponsored material. These are made by Burger Tuning, but look at Burger Tuning. They have these notches. So H&R, this quality company, makes spacers without notches, which to me is unacceptable. Burger Tuning, not as big as H&R, but I think they're growing. They make these quality spacers with notches. And also, extended lugs. These lugs are made for 15mm spacers. The Burger Tuning kit comes with these extended lugs that are made for 18mm spacers. And as you can tell, let me line them up. I know maybe it's going to be hard to see it on camera. They're about 3mm longer. To install this spacer, it's actually pretty straightforward. What you want to do is you want to put it on just gently, but make sure you align the holes. And what I like to do is I like to put these studs to make sure everything is lined up. And to finish things up, we're actually going to use a rubber mallet and put everything in place. So this is what these spacers look like. Again, 18mm spacers in the back, sitting on the hub, nice and clean. So the difference is going to be negligible. I'm going to move the car forward and back just to help it settle after we dropped it, and I'll show you what it looks like with 18mm spacers. And here you go. This is the difference with 18mm spacers. So I hope I can show it to you on camera. Maybe I can even show it with the screwdriver. So this wall now sticks out just a bit over the fender, and the tires sit a bit more flush. That's exactly what I was looking for. You could easily do 20mm spacers, but I just don't want to push it. So now I'm going to do the same thing in the front and on the other side, and let's see what it looks like at the very end. I know you want to check out the front suspension, so here it is. These are the M Performance springs that I installed a couple of months ago. Again, extremely happy with them. These are the height that I set them at. Really awesome. But check this out. Look at all this dirt that's in the wheel well. Actually, I recently washed this mud flap, but there was a line here, but this mud flap has protected the side of my car. In here, that's not only mud, it's mud and little stones. So thanks to my homemade mud flaps, I have protected my car from possibly getting scratched by little rocks. So seriously, if you want, I can make you a set. Email me, got6speed@gmail.com. You will not regret these. This is an awesome invention. Anyways, back to the spacers. So in the front, I've got 12mm, but these are made by Burger Tuning. So as you can tell, they have a little notch. So thank you, Burger Tuning, for creating quality spacers. And look at the difference when you have this little notch. You don't even have to use a hammer. You just pry them out. Look at this. Perfect. We're gonna hit it with a wire brush one more time and finish off with just a bit of garage lube. And just like in the back, we're gonna line up the spacer one more time. Then you grab a little mallet. The wheel goes back on, and in case you didn't pick up earlier or from my other videos, the first one I like to do by hand just to attach it and so the wheel doesn't come off. The other ones I just do by hand, and then after I tighten it the first time, obviously with these spacers, I believe they also like to settle. So after a day of driving or so, I re-torque every single lug just to be sure that I'm up to spec. And just like that, we're done with this side. Again, don't expect a drastic difference. There's a slightly bigger poke, but this video was mainly to show you how spacers are replaced. And we're done. The whole job, if you're not filming, should take you no more than 30 minutes. If you're having a shop do it, keep that in mind. Anyways, let me walk you around the car to show you the difference. Not much of a difference, to be honest with you. I think if I want more of an aggressive stance, I am gonna have to get different wheels. This is what it looks like, starting from the back. Not much of a difference, to be honest with you. 3mm is nothing. Let's look at the front. The front, I've got to say, the front does look a bit meatier, which is kind of what I wanted. So this goes to show you that you could easily put 18mm spacers all around without any issues. And I love how this tire sticks out. Look at it, bam. Let's check out the other side. So the other side, and again, just to prove my point, with spacers, your tires are gonna stick out. So the fact that I have my self-made mud flaps really helps to keep the side of the car clean, but also from all these rocks damaging this panel. I have a clear bra that sort of ends here, so my panel is semi-protected, but since I got the car when it was 6 months old, the previous owner didn't have it, and as you could tell, there are 1 or 2 tiny little rock chips underneath this film. Luckily, I stopped it, and I further stopped it by making and utilizing and using my mud flaps. Anyways, it's time to clean up. I'm sweaty as always, but let me know what you think about it if you have any questions or comments about spacers in general. I know a lot of you will say, yes, spacers are unsafe, and I kind of agree and disagree. They sit very tightly on the hub. I wouldn't run 18mm spacers at the track. I've tracked my car multiple times, actually every single time at the track. I've been running 12mm spacers without any issues. So don't be worried about that. 18mm are only 5mm or 6mm larger than 12. So technically I could run them at the track, but I don't think I will. For the track, I'm just gonna maybe remove the spacers altogether, see if I notice any difference. But anyways, thank you very much for watching. Give me a thumbs up, perhaps. Leave a comment down below. And as always, I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.